Thank you, Bilkis, for coming on the program today. And so we'll be looking at the role of women in media. What can be done to improve their participation and more. I know you've been in the space for a couple of years now, and I'd like to have your thoughts. And how do you describe the current state of women representation in various forms of media?
So I would say from my experience, I stand to be corrected, but I think women are still underrepresented in the Nigerian media space. The women are still represented as in that traditional housekeeping motherly role, and let's take a look at let's start from the media organization, for instance. When you tune into your radio or TV sets, the first voice you are likely to hear, that's that of the OAP or the broadcaster, you hear that of the female. So people have this belief that, the media space, especially the broadcast sector, is saturated with women. But I stand to be corrected. I think it's only in the early stage of journalism that you see women. Once this gets to that top level, counting number of women, it's dominated by males. So of all the media organizations we have in Nigeria, you can count the number of women that are either CEO, general manager, or directors. Now I'm going to reference a report done by Wale Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism. I think early this year. It was done probably around January or thereabouts. So according to that study, they sampled opinion of over 100 media organizations. So according to that study, they talked about women in newsroom and news leadership. So 25.7% of the newsroom leadership are women, while the remaining 74.3% are men. So you understand where I'm coming from. Yeah. And the study went further to break it down that the print and online sector had the lowest representation of women, 4.6 and 5.5% respectively, while radio and television had just 9.2 and 6.5 respectively. So when women are not given opportunity to make to take this gatekeeping decision, so tell me, how do they address the stereotype against them, the biases against them? So oftentimes, women are they are seen, not heard. So when you tune into your TV, you see a woman talking, a group of women discussing. But when it comes to taking key decisions of what goes into the air, you hardly see women. So I think the media, something has to be done. Something has to be done. If not, this gender equity and equality we are talking about will still be rounding on same circle without results.
Okay, that's your perspective. Thank you so much. But with all you said now, how can media organizations be held accountable for this? Is there something we can do about this?
Okay, so I think there's something we can do about that. First, I think the women need to stand up and fight for themselves. Don't just you've secured an opportunity, you've secured a job. Don't just sit in one place and just make sure you acquire more knowledge. Have what it takes, the criteria it takes, such that when opportunities come, anybody will not tell you that, you are not qualified. Secondly, when we talk about media, I always like to inculcate even the movies, the music, and advertising. Oftentimes we leave them out, but they're also very important because they also pass information to the general public, and people shape their opinion based on what they see or hear. So we have NBC, we have Censors Board. I think they need to do more. What are musicians? What are they churning out? What are movie directors, movie producers? What are they churning out? When you tune into radio, or you want to watch a music video, you see women sexualized. Even when you listen to the lyrics, they talked about, they objectified women, they stereotype women. You see the male counterparts fully clad, while the women are half naked. So I think something has to be done. If NBC says, they are banning this particular music, don't play it on the conventional music. What about the streaming platforms? What are we doing about that? Something has to be done. Now let's take a look at advertising. For instance, when they are talking about immunization or food content, you see the women at the forefront. What happens to the male counterparts? We are all equal as far as I'm concerned. If I give birth as a woman, I didn't just get pregnant, someone impregnated me. So we should be responsible for my child or my children's immunization, not just the advertising agency putting the burden on the woman alone that, oh, you are responsible, take your child to health facility. What happens to my husband? When you are advertising seasoning products or maybe food, why do you always show women in the kitchen? You see the man, either the man is coming back from office famished, looking for what to eat, while the woman is still boiling in the kitchen, cooking, or the man is sitting in the parlor watching television and expecting the food. Then the aroma will come from the kitchen. You see the. So I think something has to be done about that. Something has to be done about that. Something can be done. And producers, movie producers, advertising agencies, they need to do something.
Oh, okay. So what you're telling me now is that the media's portrayal of women has shaped public attitude towards gender roles. Is that what you're trying to tell me now?
Exactly. That's what I strongly believe, because people, the media shape people's opinion, whether we like it or not, directly or indirectly. People take their decisions based on what they see. And you know, when you reinforce something often and often, today I hear something, tomorrow, you might not like it initially, but when you keep hearing it or when you keep seeing it, your perception will change and it will not seem like a norm. So I think something has to be done.
Thank you for that, Bilkis. But moving forward now, with our current generation, where we have the influence of social media and digital platforms, have they heeded the effort to bridge this the divide, or they've helped to widen it? Have they bridged the gap?
With the rise of social media and digital platforms, I will even say these Gen Zs, they are lucky. The female folks in these Gen Zs, they are lucky because the bridge is gradually bridging the gap, so to speak. Okay. And I will take for instance influencers on the social media, all thanks to COVID. You know, yeah. You see influencers, you see skit makers, the female folk, they are doing fantastic job. Meta recently, I think about 2 weeks ago, they launched a new frame for their spectacle. There is this lady on Instagram. Her name is Tomike. I think Tomike Adeoye. She's popularly known as Olori Ebi. She was the only African that was invited, a Nigerian and female that was invited to the launch of that. Same thing with there is a chef. Her name is Chef T Tolani. The name of her Instagram handle is Diary of a Kitchen Lover. Yes, Diary of a Kitchen Lover. She recently joined Bill Gates was in Nigeria, I think last month. She had the opportunity to interview Bill Gates on food and nutrition. So consequently, I think about 3 weeks ago, Gates Foundation had an event, and she was the only Nigerian chef that was invited. So I think the social media platform is giving female more opportunity. And I also like what Bella Naija is doing currently. They are doing a campaign on Her Money, Her Power. So I like the fact that they carried along the male folk. You know, they talk to women, they talk to men about the importance of ensuring that women are economically empowered. So I think the social media is bridging the gap. But what happens to the millennials? Let me put it that way. So the Gen Zs, they are reaping. The perspective is gradually changing because of the streaming platforms and social media. But for the older folks, I think we still have a long way to go.
Oh, okay, thank you. And if I come to your table with this issue, how will you address? What will be that striking thing you do?
So for me, I'll always use all my platforms to talk about gender equity. I'm not after equality. I'm after equity. If, as a woman, this is what I need to be successful, give it to me. Don't say because I'm a woman. Gone are the days that you say women will end up in the kitchen. That was then. We have women that are doing great now. We have women, and they are balancing both home fronts and their career. So for me, I will always use my platform to talk about gender equity. Whatever a man needs to be successful in life, whatever a woman needs to be successful in life, kindly provide it for them. Stop stereotyping. Stop saying, oh, at the end of the day, you go to your husband's house, you start giving birth. Giving birth does not stop me from being successful. There are 1,001 women out there. The likes of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, they are married with children. The likes of Funke Akindele, that she's the queen of box office. For crying out loud, she has twins and they are doing fine. So That stereotypes needs to change. So I'll always reference these people when I'm talking on my platform that, see, the fact that you have a female as a child does not mean you shouldn't train your child properly. What a man can do, a woman can equally do better. We have women that are doing fine. They are doing great. And the aspects that I think people often neglect is the grassroots. We neglect them, and that's where I think it's very important, because religion and culture, it shapes a lot of decisions these people take. So for me, I'm a grassroots person. I like talking to the grassroots. I like using indigenous language. So I always use my platform to talk about gender equity. So I think over time, things will change for good.
Yeah, I'll be speaking with Bee Keels, and she is a journalist with Bond FM Lagos. And with the recent rise in technology, is there a way we can leverage on this platform to help resolve these issues?
Yes, there is. But I think even the advent of technology, the women are still lagging behind. It's just like when you go to the university, go to the engineering department, you can see 20 males in class and maybe just 2 females. So I think we still need to stop stereotyping women that a particular course is for women, while certain courses are for the male counterparts. Because I believe technology is for everybody. We can leverage on technology. These people on the social media platforms are doing great. It's as a result of technology. So I think technology will go a long way in reshaping our thoughts and reshaping our society, changing perception about women. But first and foremost, the women need to carry them along. As the male folk, as they are going towards cybersecurity, data analysis, AI, when you're talking about artificial intelligence, oftentimes you see that is male, that you see the male counterpart. What happens to the women? So please carry us along too. We are not that daft. Please, we have something upstairs. Thank you.
So before we let you go, what's going to be your final word for us today?
Okay, so my final word would be for parents. Please stop stereotyping your children. The fact that your boys will go and play football and you say your girls, they should be in the kitchen washing plates, cooking, please. It starts from the home. The family is the first agent of socialization. So all these thoughts, all this perception, they start from the family. We should stop stereotyping. These roles are meant for both male and female. God that created us knows what he was doing when he created us. So all these roles, they are for both male and stop stereotyping. This thing starts from home. And for the female, don't say, oh, because I'm married, don't relax. Please, the world is moving. As the world is evolving, evolve with it. Like these influencers that we are talking about, gone are the days when it used to be VHS. Later, VCD came. People were buying CD. Now, later, movie producers and even music, they were going on YouTube. Along the line, streaming platforms like Netflix and Prime came. Then cinema. So as the world is changing, let's endeavor to change. Acquire as much as possible knowledge that you know that will allow you to thrive. And most importantly, please, look before you leap. Don't just go and marry somebody that will subjugate you. As much as they say the husband is the head of the family, agreed, but don't marry someone that will now subjugate you and bury your career, all in the name of you are giving birth, all in the name of you are married. You can always coexist the two. Strike a balance and you will be fine.
Thank you, Bee Keels, for sharing your time and thoughts for us on the program. And like you said, strike the balance and we will be fine.